All right, all you snowboarders of the internet, we're here, we're live, we're taking your questions. So get your questions in the chat box wherever it appears on your device. Super chats, get a spin of the wheel. I'll be giving away a random snowboard prize as well to one lucky person based on the type of question they ask. That's all you can know. That's it. That's all you're going to know. Someone will probably get a snowboard today. Also, what do we got up here on the prize wheel? Let's see. We're going to do a jumbo sticker pack, and I got to get rid of that one because that's an old one. We'll just leave that blank. But yeah, anyways, hopefully new top 5 tomorrow. Been slacking. It's been a big week. Was just down at Monarch, smashing POW. It was fucking glorious. Been riding a lot of 2023 products. So if you can see up here on the wall, I've got a Battalion Evil Twin Plus over there with new board for next year, and a Battalion Disaster Plus, another new board for next year. So I know we got a few super chats I got to catch up on, answer those. Yeah, so let's see what we got here. We got JRW Moneyman 6, size 10.5, very high arch and a wide foot. Have Solomon Dialogue wide boots, but I can't ride for more than 2 without taking them off. Suggestions. 1, you need an aftermarket insole because you got a high instep. You're probably going to need a custom made one. So you're got to go find a good boot fitter that understands how to make a high arch and do the posting and everything in there. The wide boot as well. You're good with the Solomon Dialogue wide. That's a wider boot. Burton makes some wide boots as well. 32s tend to run a little bit wider. Certain models of K2 and Ride also run a little bit wider. So you need to figure out what works with you, what doesn't work with you. But my biggest guess that what you're having with foot problems is because you don't have that arch support. So it's stressing that arch as it's starting to collapse because you're naturally high arched like that. So if you can get a custom made insole, that should help alleviate the problem. Take your boots with you, make sure you feel confident with the boot fitter. You really want to discuss what's going on, what your problems are, and expect to have to go back from anywhere from 1 more visit to 5 more visits just to get everything dialed in. All right, let's give you a spin of the wheel, sir. What do we got? Pray to the altar of snowboarding, people. Pray to the altar of snowboarding. Okay. We got a question here from Porter Nelson. How often do you end up owning the boards that make the top of your list? Probably about like 1%. It's really rare. Most of the time I just end up buying stuff if I really want it. I think there's a few brands that are like, just keep it if you really want it. And they know it, but let's just say probably 9 times out of 10, I just send it back. I don't keep it. And sometimes, like if I'm using it from one of my local reps, I just end up buying the rep sample. So I give it back to them. They do the last of their demos or maybe the early season demos the next year. And then I'm like, hey, do you want to sell that? Usually by about November 15th. And they'll give me a deal like 60% off or something. And it's been ridden. Sometimes they're in worse shape than the last time I rode it. Sometimes no one's ridden it since I was the last one to ride it. So it's kind of it. Let's see what we got here. Well, we got a good one from Dan Kelly. What's worse, a front taco or a back taco or a side taco? Front tacos can lead to more damage. Like you usually end up rupturing your spleen, bruising your intestines and stuff like that. Side tacos can result in like a bruised kidney, but they're fewer and far between. But the back taco is by far the absolute worst. I back tacoed a tree at about 30 miles an hour. I was riding Breckenridge and I was coming down, and there's like this little keyhole through the trees where there's like a tree that fell over. So you have to know how to hit it perfectly. Well, there'd been high winds the night before, and something had fallen and been covered by about 14 inches of snow. I hit it, went sideways, and there's a tree, and basically my legs were on one side and my upper body was on it, and I completely folded around and ended up fracturing 3 vertebrae in my back. That sucked. That one took forever to fucking heal because I didn't have health insurance. So, not much you can do besides have someone tell you, well, you definitely got a fracture in there, and you deal with it. Back tacos fucking suck. They royally suck. We will have a Slim Whitman voicemail. Slimmy left one this past week. So yeah. Okay, we got a question from Jacob Iverson. Just picked up a Telos Chillum. Any binding recommendations? I'm a progressing intermediate. I'm going to use it for mostly progressing in the park and for hitting groomers with my lady. So check out the Rome Vice. That's really good bang for the buck on that board. Then I would also look at the Ride C6s, and I'm going to throw the Union Stratas in there as well. So, yeah. Okay, we got another boot question from Eric Chen. Change boots from the 32 Team 3 to the Ride Lasso. Fitted perfect with insoles after day 2. The front regular cuts into the calf muscle and rashes. Any solution to it? If you haven't heat molded it, let's see. Do I have a boot liner sitting around here? Let me find a boot liner here really quick. There it is. So, all right. So, what you're feeling around here is it's just tight around there. Heat mold the liner, if just the front one. So, and that should help push out the calf on there. As far as the rash, that's actually movement going around in there. So, that could be that it's too tight and you're getting that pain and then you're trying to lift your foot up in there. It could also be that it's actually what you're feeling is it's putting pressure down here and then you're moving around because you got too much play at the top. I don't know. I'm not looking at the boot on there. The other thing could be that you need something as simple as a small heel wedge under that your front foot's insole to raise it up just a little bit. And that'll raise the calf just a little more, and you won't have that problem. If it's really aggressive, you might just need to cut a little slit in the top of the liner. So you cut it down the back and let it pull apart. Make sure you put some tape where the foam is in there, some duct tape, and that could give you just a little more play in the calf as well. But it sounds like you're just getting some calf bite in there, and it's just rubbing on it, creating a hot spot. It's also a completely different fit from the Lasso and the Team 3. Like the Team 3 is very much just a very wide profile in the top of that liner. And so before your calf was just sitting in there and it was just cupping right around it. And this is actually like really pressing on it because it's just a different fit in there. So that could be something as well, just to think. But without me personally looking at it, I can't really decide if it's working or not working for you, unfortunately. So, all right, let's take another question here. We got from Paul WB. I dig my katanas, though I suspect the padded strap might be more comfy than the newer molded strap. Maybe just the older model fuses I have are stiff enough on top. It's all personal preference. I actually ride on my black labels the foam strap. I like it more than the aux strap. But with that said, you can go on the Rome website and order them. I think they're like $39.99 or something. You can order the molded straps if that's what you're worried about. And they ship out of Seattle, I think. It's relatively quick to get them. It's kind of all personal preference. Like I like the way the aux strap feels. It contours good, but if you have a boot that doesn't have a lot of forward padding in it, that could be what you're feeling. And you do need to go to that molded foam strap instead. So it's kind of food for thought there. You'll figure it out one way or another. But yeah, hit up the Rome website, see if you can order them, or hit up their, they have a little chat box that pops up on there. Maybe talk to someone over there and just see what they say. Then that might be something that works in your way. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, we got JR Moneyman 6 with a super chat. Oh, actually, wait. I owe Eric a spin first. All right. Forgot about that. Playing for keeps over here. Smash that like button, people. Smash that like button. All right. Let's see. Where were we? Okay. Yeah. So we had JRW Moneyman 6 asking. Where'd that go? It was a DOA question. I think I just lost it. There it is. DOA, Orca, yes, Dicey, Nidecker, Mosquito, Jones, Mountain Twin. Anything missing to my quiver? Union Force, now Brigade, now Drive. Which binding with boards? Other bindings I should pick up? Thanks. As far as boards go, the only thing you're seriously missing is an old school powder board. Right. I'm talking like just a bigger normal length one, your Endeavor archetype, something like that, like maybe a swallowtail in there. Just a longer length powder board. That's what you're missing. I mean, DOA kind of that's that in between the Dicey and the Mountain Twin. Mountain Twin is your all mountain freestyle. You got your Orca, which is your low angle powder board. You got your Mosquito as your short wide Carver board. You're kind of covered on everything there. So the Forces, I just throw them away. The Now Brigade, you could put that on the Dicey, the Mountain Twin, and the DOA, and even the Orca if you wanted to. The Drive, I would put on the Mosquito. You could even put the Drive on the Jones if you wanted to. What you're really looking for is you kind of need like a surf style binding, something with more lateral play. So your Union Strata, let's see. So yeah, your Union Strata, your K2 lean AT, stuff like that. So think about that. So, all right. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see. Okay, we got Jay Garrett. Oh, we owe you a spin of the wheel too, sir. What do we got here? Ooh. Sir, you won yourself a jumbo sticker pack. All you got to do is email me info@angrysnowboarder with your mailing address, and I will get that in the mail to you. So, we can get that in the mail, get that. And we just got new stickers, so that will go out relatively soon for you. Let's see. Oh, where's the next one? Okay. We got Jay Garrisick 07. Hey, dude, picked up the 2022 GNU Headspace. Any changes since the last time you wrote it? No. Still the exact same in there. So there's been no new changes to that. So, yeah. Oh. Let's see. Out and about. What about Northwave for a wider boot? Are they no good? I haven't seen the new Northwaves. I've heard they're better than what they used to be, but my God, Northwaves have been just trash for the last 10 years. They're fucking still using the old liner designs. They're heavy as fuck. They just don't tighten like any other boot out there. So let's see. Josh, do you ever have time to ride the boards you buy between doing reviews? So I ride my boards for binding reviews. So those are my ones. And then lately I've been taking Fridays as personal days for me so that I can just ride my stuff. So we got that going on. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Looking for another good question here. Oh, we got one from D's. Have you tried Nerd Snowboards yet? No, I got to hit up Jordan, the owner. He's a good personal friend of mine. Hopefully going to be able to grab some here in the next 2 weeks. Right now, I've been riding Nidecker, Amplid, and Battalion pretty much exclusively. I got to hit up Rome tonight and get stuff. Supposedly, I have Niche and Ride on the way. Middle of next month, I get K2. I've got to email Capita, Mervin, Arbor, Burton, and a few other brands. So we're going to try to see what I can do. My dog is evidently thinks she's protecting me from nothing. It's great. If you hear her barking, I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay, we got another super chat from JRW Moneyman 6. Buying a board for a friend, all mountain, good amount of park, high intermediate rider, found a deal on a Battalion Boss. Would this be a good board for him? It'll work. It might be a little too soft. I don't know what his stats are, so you got to wait on that. but it'll work. I got to check on my dog. She's being stupid. Hey, come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come say hi to everyone. Everyone wants to see you. Puppy. She turned a year old on Monday. Yeah, didn't you, sweetie? Didn't you? Oh, yes, I know. You got to protect me from the big bad UPS delivery guy. Didn't you, sweetie? But yeah, so my dog turned a year. So we've been celebrating all week for her. It's she's been happy. But yeah, the boss will work. Otherwise, other ones that I would look at for like a high intermediate, you could do a Captain Mercury Jones Mountain Twin. The ride algorithm is really solid. To an extent, you can do the LibTech E-Jack knife, or you could substitute that E-Jack knife with a GNU headspace. With K2, you can do the broadcast. It kind of fits in there. I'm not a big fan of it, so, but yeah. Do you want to go down? Okay, go. Yeah, so that was my dog Baroness. So, let's see. Okay. All right. We got DWDC. Have you ridden the 2023 Black Snowboard of Death yet? If so, how's the flex? Nope. Haven't ridden those yet. Anything from Capita. Okay. Okay. T Jones, do you follow any special diet to help with your riding? Yeah. I eat like I'm a fucking dumpster pig. I'm a trash panda. Like the shittier the food, the more I probably eat it. Lots of sugar, high, I like inflammatory foods. So I got that going on. Let's see. No, I try to eat healthy, a lot of fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. Not a lot of inflammatories, but I won't lie, I do eat like a fucking trash panda. Like it's really, really bad. So yeah. Yeah, let's see. Okay, where were we? Okay. All right, I'm going to try to mispronounce your name again. Nari Gazahekanian. How stupid is it if I buy the Union Atlas FC carbon high-back model for my Alchemist? They're expensive, but for some reason they're calling for me for performance-wise, plus they look cool. Go buy them and make yourself happy. Also forget I owe JR Money Man a spin. Okay, you need to go. Out. Go lay down. Bed. Go. Bed. Good girl. Fire cures all, people. Fire cures all. Okay, here's a good one from Rod Kings. Anything from 2023 you rode that blew your mind? So far, I've only ridden about 20 things. So first off, we got to talk about the battalion bindings. So this is the Astro. It's a Rome binding. Like the chassis is all Rome, but the difference is in the foot pad, the foam that they use. That's actually super damp and awesome. But their version of the aux strap, I actually like it more than the Rome one. It's actually super, super solid. I don't like the buckle. They just feel a little cheaper than a Rome. But hey, stop eating that. Get out. Out. Trying to eat power cables. But yeah, so the battalion bindings that are just rebranded Romes. The high back's also a little wider too. But I really do like that heel strap. Toe strap's good too on there. That one stood out. Let's see, what else have I? Oh, the Nidecker thruster. They're like resort. It's basically what replaces the area, and the concept is really good. So I rode that and had a blast on it. So yeah. So the thruster, plus it's got that 3D shaping and just the tip, so it elevates that contact point. So the roll in the turn initiation, it's really cool. And then there's a flex point right in front of the back bindings. So when you really hammer that thing, you get more power off the tail. This was a really cool board to ride. And then I finally got on the new Fun Kink from Battalion. This thing is an underhyped gem. I got on this fully expecting to ride it for like 2-3 hours and then be like, okay, I got to swap out boards. And instead, I just rode this board all day. I didn't want to get off it at all. it was good. So it was just really, really good. So I had a field day riding that as well. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just waiting on more stuff to show up, and I've got to email this weekend a ton of companies and kind of catch up on things. But yeah. Let's see. Anthony Hocken with the super chat. I am in Walgreens asking for muscle cheese. They aren't responding. Please advise. Well, you don't get muscle cheese at Walgreens. Everyone knows you get it at Whole Foods. Duh. You pay for what you get. Also, can you explain loading up camber for turns versus jumps? All right. So you have your camber, your arc of the board from tip to tail. When you are loading it up for a turn, you are pushing your back knee through this into the center. So your knee is coming inward. And what it's doing is it's flexing down and apexing that it's flexing down into the camber. You're also on edge. You're also changing the dynamics so that when you're going through the turn and it's pushing into it, you're rolling back onto the tail, but you're keeping that edge completely engaged. And you're going from pushing from the inside of the board. And as the power transfers to the outside, you're pushing to the outside of the foot off the tail. Now, when you're loading it up for a jump, you're basically down weighting the board from the front foot and starting to roll your front knee to the center and your back knee towards the tail. And as you do it, your front is going to leave the ground and that back foot is going to still be there and loaded. And then when it hits the outside of the binding, you're starting to let the tail push up into the air. And that's going to put back into traditional shape. And that's going to give you the spring that you're looking for. So there's that. Let's see. So hopefully that answers those questions for you, Anthony. Oh, there's nothing on there. Stefan H, next year's Union Ultra going to be good or just a gimmick with all the new tech? I talked to a bunch of my friends, like a lot of them that are riding it right now, and everyone seems to say that it's their new favorite binding. So I think that's super solid. I really want to ride it. Hopefully Johan and George will be able to get me one to ride. So that would be really good. Okay. This is a good one from Cole Binning. Should Board Patrol take the nature of their job into account when purchasing a board? If so, what would be an ideal setup for Board Patrol? Well, you need something that, one, you should take that into consideration. And two, out. Go sit. Go lay down. Sorry, dogs. She's being real needy. But you should be taking into consideration like how much you ride it and where you ride it and what you're going to be doing with it performance-wise. You also need to understand that you're probably going to be side slipping with a sled as well. So you want something that's not crazy camber aggressive that you're just like fighting the whole excuse me, that you're fighting the whole time. So you want to make sure that it's got a good flex for when you're pulling the shame train down the hill with some fat lard ass skier that fucking, you're scraping off the hill because I ollied over his kid and he had a heart attack. And so these are all things you got to kind of consider and doing that. So you want that flex where it lets you be fast and charge if you have to get to an emergency situation relatively quick, but you also want something that's going to be easy and forgiving. So you need that middle ground, and you need a board that can ride all types of terrain, something that you feel comfortable when you have to go through a mogul run of death, when you're in tight trees, when you're coming down a bowl, when you're riding a groom or whatever. So yes, you should be considering all of that stuff. Let's see. Okay, we got another question here from TT. If you did not have your Rome black labels, are there any bindings you think would elevate your riding? You're talking to a guy that literally went from K2 Indy formulas because I was hybriding the straps and high backs off the formula onto the Indy chassis because it had zero canting. And then I went to the black labels. I could ride a Rome Vice and be totally fine, in all honesty. like, there's no reason for me to have black labels. There's no reason for you to have black labels. Like, most people don't need a black label, $549 binding. It's overkill. It really is. Personally, I just like meat and potato bindings. Like, I don't think having all these bells and whistles and bullshit. I was like, I need 0-degree canting, a decent dampening underfoot, and then just solid straps and ratchets that I can trust. The high back, I can give fuck all about it because I don't use forward lean at all. My boots already have like 12 degrees in them to begin with. So these are all things that I take into consideration. But for me personally, I don't need black labels. I just ended up with them out of happenstance and the fact that I got some really crazy deals on them. So I have 3 pairs. Let's see. Okay, we got a super chat from Michael Evans. Avran, is there any snowboard that compares to the K2 Manifest team when it comes to Freeride freestyle boards? Something someone could be just as happy on. There are boards out there like that. Like, I actually think the Jones Ultra flagship sits in that category, but the price is just absurd. Like, it just does not make sense. So, oh great, connection's wonky. Fuck this. I fucking hate goddamn Xfinity. Fucking pay out the ass and they can't fucking fix anything. This is fucking bullshit. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, like the Manifest team, when you look at it and you want like that middle ground, I think the Jones Ultra flagship sits in there to an extent. Some of the Rosinal stuff in there kind of fits in there, like the Revenant or the Resurgence. You kind of can pick and choose your battle with that one. To an extent, the Capita Mega Merc also fits in there as well. So when you look at like the Capita Mega Merc, it's in that realm. The LibTech Dynamo is another one that comes to mind to being on the same page as the K2 Manifest team. With Ride, you're kind of looking at the bench warmer can kind of fill that niche if you want it to as well. So there are boards that do, and you just kind of, but you end up paying more. That's the one thing that I necessarily agree with. I was like, is it really worth jumping up like $300 in price? Nah, not always. Okay. Okay, we got a question here from Josh. Any other bindings? Oh, I owe Michael a super chat too. Super spin. Ooh, spin it. Wait. It's popping out. Toe side powder boner. Had one of those yesterday. But yeah, Josh asks, any other bindings that ride similar to Skate Tech out there that are not Now or Jones? No, Skate Tech's really proprietary to Now and Jones, like to get that hanger in there and how it elevates from toe to heel and how it rocks back and forth. There's nothing else out there like it. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Turning boards. Rode my buddy's old Ride Fleetwood. It's white with a dark blue and orange stripe. Couldn't find any information on from Google. What the heck did I ride? You rode a Ride Fleetwood. That's it. It was the poor man's version of the Yukon. That's all it was. It's nothing fucking special. That board fucking sucked back in the day. I used to sell it to fat, out of shape men that claimed that they needed a size 14 boot when they were probably only needed a size 9. Like, nothing special. All right. Where were we? I feel like I'm missing some stuff here. So, okay. Centauri 2410. Trying to decide on an intermediate level all mountain freeride board. What's better for trees and carving, K2 Instrument or Wired Vantage? The Vantage is stiffer and narrower than the Instrument, so you're going to get more power and a carve out of it. But I think the Instrument is better for what you're describing. It's better in trees. It's got better float and pow, and it still rips a carve really, really well. So I would go with the K2 Instrument personally. I think that that's just the better choice. So, but let's see. Okay, Jimmy McElroy. Broke another Rome high back. Will epoxy be a good temp fix before getting the replacement? Epoxy will work, but what you need to remember is use more resin than hardener. Because if you use more hardener, it's just going to be stiffer. It's going to crack easier. If you use more resin, it's going to have more play. After you epoxy it, wrap that fucker with duct tape too, man. Just like up and over, just duct tape the whole thing. Put some friggin' Angry Snowboarder chrome on it, and that'll help it as well. So let's see. Separate the different levels of intermediate versus advanced riders. Well, there's a lot of people that are low-level intermediates that tell me they're advanced riders, yet they have no idea how to actually ankle steer a snowboard. They don't know what loading camber up is. They have no concept of how to read natural terrain, and they basically just muscle themselves through everything. The big difference between all the skill levels is the nuances of understanding that you can read the terrain and know if you're choosing your line that you can, oh, I'm going to ankle steer here at this point on my heel side carve, change the apex of the carve, put it back flat. Oh, there's someone in my way. I'm going to zip right around them. I'm going to go up on this bank turn. I'm not worried about ollieing over this fat skier kit that's in my way. That's really the difference between all the levels of riding. Is it's the nuance and finesse that you understand that you can make things look easier and easier and easier and easier as you do them because you have that muscle memory. There's a lot of people that I know that ride 100 days a year. Great fucking park riders. You watch them ride a groomer and you're like, yeah, that's the sketchiest fucking thing you've ever seen. It's they don't know how to balance their weight. They don't understand that stuff. I think you got to take the approach to snowboarding like most people do to golf. You can pick up the basics in relatively no time, but it will take the rest of your life to master it. So many people concentrate on the freestyle side of things, and they think that that's what dictates you being a good rider. I'm not a freestyle rider. I'm fine with it. I've got my bag of tricks. I know where I'm good at, but I'm confident enough that when I'm riding, I know I can compensate for air awareness, speed, a crosswind, stuff like that. But when I'm actually like just out riding, it's the ability to avoid obstacles, have problems, and all that stuff, so that kind of works out in my favor. Let's see. So that's kind of where things are. It's like you either know or you don't. But so many people jack up their level ability. They're like, I'm an expert. And I was like, that's cool, man. You come from a resort that's 500 feet. You've never ridden anything else. You might be the best guy from there, but you can't adapt to anything. You don't know how to ride POW. You don't know how to ride POW good or well. You don't know how to compensate for your body's anatomy and stuff. Like you don't. The best way to like look at someone and decide how what level of rider they are, look at their upper body posture and how they carve. And if they're like turned counterintuitive to their body and they're kicking their back foot out till it hits the heel or toe edge and then engaging the turn versus transitioning smoothly and then changing their upper body with their lower body motions, that's it. Like how people turn really dictates whether they're a good snowboarder or not. That's it. I mean, like the first trick you ever learn on a snowboard is how to turn. After that, everything else is secondary. So if you never build that fundamental on how to turn properly, you're never going to have anything good. So that's kind of where we're at. Fire cures all. Okay. Alexander Hogan, riding union contacts. Okay. Alexander Hogan, riding union contacts with the 2021-22 for tweaking my setup. That is ungodly soft binding for the Heldor. Like you feel everything under that. That's for one. You also have 3BT on the Heldor too, which changes the dynamic of how you land and how you pop and engage, especially if you're one of those guys that pre-spins off a jump. But those contacts really do anything. The best thing I can tell you is ride more. Just ride more. Just ride as much as you can. Just get comfortable with that setup as much as you can. All right. Support the Shred Foundation. Shredfoundation.org, people. Okay. We got another super chat from JRW Moneyman6. Thanks for all the help. Kook Fuckhouse was at my local mountain this week. He hit a rail with a kid on the ground next to it, almost took off his head. I mean, why am I not surprised? That guy is ill-prepared for anything. I guess evidently he tells people that you shouldn't have snowboard tools because there's benches at all the resorts. I mean, when you only ride shitty-ass Vail resorts, yes, of course, because, you know, you're a fucking kook. I mean, the guy's a fucking kook. He's a literal fucking kook. If there could be one person that epitomizes everything that I think is wrong with people trying to tell people what snowboarding is, it's Jonathan fucking Buckhouse. He's literally a fucking moron. I mean, he thinks dinosaurs are 2,000 years old. Literally thinks dinosaurs are 2,000 years old. Had numerous friends of mine that used to work with him at Target tell me that. That ought to tell you the level of stupidity he has. Plus, if you ever look at anything he writes out, I mean, he's borderline like illiterate. I think he's a functional illiterate. Like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. His parents were fucking morons. His grandparents are fucking morons. His kids are going to be fucking morons. My tax dollars are going to fund the stupidity of his kids. I vote on school stuff here in this county because, and I solely, when I do this vote, I ask myself, what would benefit his kids so that maybe they won't end up fucking retarded like him? Him and his wife, they're fucking awful humans. If they both died, the world would be a better place. Fuck that guy. He's awful. Fucking awful. I'm sorry he came to your local mountain. On a plus side, I haven't seen him at all at Copper all year because he's having a fight with Tommy Bennett, and he knows I ride there, and everyone that's good rides there, and we all clown him. Seriously, the last time I saw him, he showed up, did 4 laps, filmed a bunch of shit, and just fucking straight left and went to Keystone. I know he did. I know that's what he did. He filmed just enough to make a fucking edit. Pro snowboarder fucking couldn't even hit a fucking 25-foot jump. He sticks to the 15 and under. I stick to the 15 and under because I have no cartilage in my knees. I'm not even supposed to jump. I don't even know how I walk anymore. My doctor even said it was a modern miracle. But yeah, fuck that guy. Like, fuck him. I hope he gets ass raped by a monkey with AIDS. Smash that like button, people. Smash that like button. There's 80 plus of you in here and only 50 likes. What's up with that? Okay. Let's see. Okay, Brandon Scotland. I found a Lobster Aki Pro from 2019 for 350 Canadian. Would you say it's worth it to get it if I have a 2013 Lobster parkboard? The parkboard was an evil twin. So the Aki will be softer than that year. And those were made, what factory were those ones made in? Your parkboard? I think those were made in Europe somewhere. I think. I don't think they were made at Titan like the new ones are. But yeah, that Aki is going to be a lot softer than what you had. Well, I don't know. It's a 2013. I mean, that's a 9-year-old board. It might be clapped out, so it might flex the same, but it's going to break in more. Oh, this is a good one from Nareg Gazakahanian. What's the best pow day you've ever had? I know you ride more days in a season than most do in a lifetime, but is there a day that stands out? There's a few that stand out. I mean, I can remember when K2 once rented Mount Baker for an event called Camp K2, and we pulled up that night, and they'd gotten 2 feet of fresh snow. They got like another 3 or 4 feet overnight, so it was like 6 feet of fresh snow. And I remember I was dropping a chute, and Shane McConkey rolls up in his Red Bull helmet, and I look at him, and he's like, I wouldn't go that way. And my response was, what the fuck do you know? You're a skier. Because it's Shane McConkey. That's just what you do. Dropped in, made 2 good turns, hit an exposed root, flipped, popped my shoulder out, popped my shoulder back in, tumbled down to the bottom of the chute. And it was like riding away, like feeling my arm out. And McConkey's just like, what'd I tell you? And I was like, still worth it. Still worth it. That one stands out because that whole trip was really awesome. But there's one day, it's 2019. And I was on my Endeavor Archetype, my first one I had. And I got to Copper, and they closed the canyon by Officers Gulch. And Copper was reporting 46 or 48 inches, something like that. It was like almost 4 feet again. And so I got there early enough, and the singles gate, because they have the Euro gates with RFID, is the singles line is connected to the fast track pass that lets you up early. So I went over and the gate opened and I was like, fuck it, I'm going through. So I went up and I got up like 15 minutes before most other people could get up on the mountain. So I got up, took accelerator up, and I got up to the top of Super B area and I just pointed it. And it was so light. I was hovercrafting the whole way down. Like my nose was just, the board was just, I was like floating on air. And it's like 2,300 vertical or something, but it's like a 12-minute lap, top to bottom, and I was the first track down. It was absolutely fucking amazing. That one will always stand out because I got that lap, took Super B up, did a second lap, took Super B up, did a third lap, and by then, anyone that was at the resort was doing that, and I was able to go around the rest of the mountain. But yeah, it was awesome. Okay. We got Richard Tucker, Avran, 6'1", 230 pounds, size 13 boot, progressing intermediate. Any sub, 158 park board, party boards you recommend for large Sasquatch footed riders. So go check out the 157 Rome party mod. I really like that one. That's a really good one. If you want to go volume shifted, you could get away with the 152 K2 party platter, camber, wide, park board. In there, I also think at 230 pounds, you could ride the 154 Ride bench warmer. That should fit your size 13s on that as well. But there's a couple options right there that I would look at for sure. Eat your muscle cheese, people. Eat your muscle cheese. All right, who wants a Slim Whitman voicemail? Because I do. I haven't even listened to this one. I just know I got it. Whew. Came in Monday, 6:34 a.m., and it's 1 minute and 57 seconds long. Good old Slimothy Whitman.
I don't have a resolution. I had a resolution. First, I'm calling from a undisclosed police department outside Minnetonka, Minnesota.
Oh, God.
They said I get one phone call, so I thought I could call you. I even love Ethan, you fucking dick nose, okay? Because I found a bit, just found a bit. You keep playing the voicemails on your television show, okay? I heard that. I'm not happy. I came to this great state of 100,000 links to
Slim's in Minnesota.
Talk to him about a review he did. The wide anti-gravity board from Genu that I don't like. I don't like it. Okay. I do need a favor, Avran. Can you please call the police department here outside Minnetonka, Minnesota, and see if they will let your friend Slim go? They might ask you for a credit card, but that's okay. Slim can pay you back. I can pay you back. I crashed the Miata, which will now have to be salvaged, and my anti-gravity was in the car, and it broke.
Okay, so Slim's in Minnetonka, Minnesota. He's crashed his Miata and his snowboard broke, and he thinks I'm going to bail him out of jail. Oh, Slimothy, whatever will we do without you? All right, we got letters looking for a spin to win. Ooh, spin again. Toe side powder boners. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? All right. Wait. I feel like I'm missing some stuff here. Let's catch up on some things here. Okay, ride of a life. Looking for a playful carver. I was riding the K2 Joy Driver 162 for the last couple years. Time to replace it in my Quiver. Okay, so you want a playful carver? That's the Nidecker Thruster. That is, well, it'll be next year. There's the Battalion Cruiser coming out. The carver from them is probably a little bit much. You could do a Nidecker Mosquito to an extent. Let's see what else is out there. Playful carver. To an extent, the Nitro Super Team. I mean, it's a little bit more of a charger than that, but that's actually a really fun board to carve on. Why am I brain farting too? The Restless Sashimi sticks out as something fun to carve on every now and then too. Let's see what else. Oh, Amplid Holy Grail. That's a good one. And if you can find an old K2 Cool Bean, those things ripped, or an K2 Niseko Pleasures if you want playful carver as well. So that should give you a few options right there. But I would go look at the Nidecker Thruster first. I really would. I'm going to throw the Y by Yes on that list too as well, sir. That's a good one. Eat your muscle cheese. Eat your muscle cheese. Okay. Oh, okay. This is a good one from Johnny Starling. Replaced my Ride Trident boots with the new pair. Pressure points. So one setup, new liners and old boots, and old liners in the new. I now ride either pair with no issues. How long do you figure before I can swap back? I usually go about 10, 15 days before I swap the new liner from the old boot into the new shell, just because then by then it's probably broken in a little bit. So yeah, I do the same thing. I take the old liner and break in the shell of the new boot, or vice versa, depending what I need to do. Okay, we got Rod Kings. Planning to put my son on board next winter. He will be 2. What board for me would fit best with this test? 6'1", 205 pounds, boot size 12. Thanks. You just need something soft and playful that's easy to turn on. I mean, at this point, like a volume shifted board really sticks out. So for you, like I would go with like the 51 War Pig. You could do at 205. You can get away with what is it? The 52 Solomon Dance Hall, something like that. Yeah, Ride War Pig, K2 Party Platter to an extent if you really wanted to. You could do an Orca as well. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you just want something soft and playful more than anything. Like even just picking up like an Arbor Westmark 54 mid-wide, because that'll fit your size 12. Get the rocker version because you're going to be on your heel edge a lot with that kid, because he's going to be pulling. You probably have him on the weird leash or something, or you'll be riding alongside him. Just something that's really easy to steer and super forgiving and playful is the best thing you can have. I mean, it's awesome you're getting your 2-year-old into snowboarding. My nephew went to the resort. He's 2 for the first time this week, my nephew Waylon. And it was awesome just to see the video. He crushed it. So stoked that you're doing that. Fire cures all. Keaton Guan, can you switch the side for the ASIM wrap of the Rome Katanas, like putting the higher sidewall on the outside of your boot so you can drop your knee more on a turn? No, they're asymmetrical. So what you got to remember, so they're asymmetrical, so they have the power in there and everything like that. If you actually take the toe pads off and look at how they mount, they won't fit on there. So if you're trying to get more power, you actually want to go to the Romes with the full wrap on there. But yeah, you can't swap them over at all. All right. Okay. D-Rick, which binding of the actual ride line is most similar to the Ride Rodeos? I think that would be the 9 series would be the closest. Okay, we got Sean Grom on the lift at Snoqualmie, spin for the win. Hello, Hayek. We got nothing. We got nothing. All right. Wayne McKenzie. I just hung out with this OG woman snowboarder that was riding a world industry snowboard. Oh, God. That's a throwback. I feel bad for her. Someone get that woman a new snowboard. Spray skiers, everybody. Spray skiers. Okay, we got Matt Brown with the super chat. Thanks for the Battalion Magic Carpet recommendation. My favorite board so far. Also down with Vail for the season pass at Stevens Pass. At Kooks of Stevens Pass. At Kooks of Stevens Pass is great. Just like at Epic Lift Lines. Fuck, Vail. Stevens was already kind of a shit show. Vail just ruined it. All right. Woo. Well, sign up for the Slash and Burn coming to Colorado in March. You want to compete in a bank slalom against former Olympians, pro snowboarders, and people that are of reputation in Colorado? Sign up for the Slash and Burn. The link is in the description below. It is sponsored by my official sponsor, Powder Tools Snowboards. If you're going to Steamboat, go to Powder Tools Snowboards. Take them a bottle of Malort and tell them Angry sent you. All right. Let's see. We got Eric Chen with another super chat. What's going on with the union with all these custom special bindings? The latest ones are a natural selection one for $500. Money grab. They've always done collabs with everyone. It's not a money grab because it kind of is, but it's also like one of their higher end bindings and the stuff in there. But it's also a way to draw awareness to like different riders, social causes, events, things like that. It's solid. If you don't like it, don't buy it. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's kind of like when people try to argue with me and tell me that they'll never fucking watch anything I do. And I was like, well, you're still leaving a comment. If you're never going to watch anything I do, then why are you watching this and leaving a comment? Go fuck yourself. I don't know. Simple concept. That's kind of how I do it. But do we need $500 bindings? No. Do people want $500 bindings? Clearly they do because they keep buying them. Those goddamn dentists of snowboarding. All right. And remember to support the Shred Foundation. All right. We got Jason Alba with a PSA. Party Mod. Best party board. Yes. Maybe. No. I don't know. I own one. Where are we going? Well, we got nothing on that one. Also, I filmed a video on how to repair tears in jacket outerwear for you guys. I'm going to edit that up in the off season for all of you, but yeah, there will be video on that. I'm working on some other stuff for you guys for the off season. Paul WB, easy to get a padded strap instead of the injection molded for my katanas. Rears just off older bindings. One set I actually just emailed Rome and was like, hey, do you guys have some? Can I get some? And they sent me some. All the other ones were from older ones that I had. But I did just get warranty replacement toe straps for my black labels because they finally blew out. And I mean, I think they were here in like a week. So, yeah. All right. Dan Rao. Is Slim going to cleanse himself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? God, I hope not. It'll be sacrilege to Prince's legacy. Okay. Let's go. Asks, do you think the Capita Mega Merc is a bit too stiff for buttering if I don't have really good form, or will I be fine with it? I'm thinking of buying one. If you don't know how to butter, it's going to be a chore. It's not easy. If you know what you're doing, you can get away with it. It's not that board's primary, like what it's good at. It can handle it. And if you know what you're doing, you can do it. But if you don't, you're going to get your ass handed to you. Okay. We got Brandon Tauscher spin for Mr. Whitman. Oh God, don't encourage Slimothy. Thank God he's in jail. He used his one phone call and I never responded. Pray to the altar of snowboarding, just not for Slim. Although, I mean, if you want to, you could always pray to Slim Whitman, the real Slim Whitman up there. But yeah, let's see. What do we got here? Okay, Flare Blitz. What would you add to round out the quiver? Nitro Banker and Rosinol Sushi. You need a middle ground all mountain freestyle board, something that you can put in there. So you're looking at, if you do Nitro, that would be the team. If you're doing Rosinol, I would probably put like a Resurgence or a Revenant in there. Otherwise, a Jones Mountain Twin, a Captain Mercury, a Ride Algorithm, one of those types of boards, just to put it right in there. Let's see. Where were we? I just saw one. Glenn NT, what size GNU Gremlin? 5'8", 175 pounds, size 9 US boots. You want, what is that? You probably want the 148 if you want it to be more playful. Otherwise, I think it bumps up to the 52 is the next one. And then that's a little more for charging. The 55 will probably be too much for you. So you either want the 48 or the 52. Let's see. We got Turning Boards, Spin to Win. All right. Remember to subscribe, people. Okay. Patrick S. Any experience with battalion bindings? You mean these? Or do you mean these? I got two pairs. So I got the Astro and the Blaster. The Blaster is essentially, it's a 390 Boss, but it's like softer flexing than that. And the Astro is probably closer to somewhere between a DOD and a Cleaver in there. And that depends because they offer full wrap and ASIM wrap. But I've been impressed with them. I wrote them. The early reviews will be up in May on those on Angry Snowboarder VIP. Otherwise, the reviews of those will drop in September-ish. They'll start. All the 2023 stuff will start dropping then. Okay. Stephen Mendoza, I'm not worthy to be here, but paying some dues for the good advice. We're all worthy to be here because if you weren't, you'd get banned. And I'd send your ass out of here, and then I'd talk shit on you. And then I'd probably post your comments on Instagram because that's where I post the stupid comments these days. I post them on the Instagram story. So if you're not following me on Instagram, @AngrySnowboarder, but that's where I post the dumb ones. I think I need to just start like making a never-ending story, like just saving it so you guys can click it and be like, this is funny. But yeah, that's what I've been doing with those. But I think anyone that supports, anyone that's really trying to actually become a better snowboarder, not a person that snowboards or a person that snowboards that became better at snowboarding, deserves to be here. Some people say it's gatekeeping. Some people say that that's a horrible way of thinking. I don't. Because you know what? When I started snowboarding, there was gatekeepers, and they brought you to the culture. They showed you the culture. They kept the kooky shit out. We got rid of them for a while there, and snowboarding got kooky, and we ended up with Jonathan Buckhouse. So, yeah, you totally deserve it. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. And I appreciate all you guys for doing this. I mean, in all honesty, when I started Angry like 15 years ago, I was already years deep in doing gear advice online in various formats. It's really weird to finally be able to make a living at it, like a true fucking living. Because I sold all my stock that I had. I put myself in horrible credit card debt and whatnot. So it's been a whole journey. And I'm going to give you this spin, and then I'm going to tell the tale of how I got airlifted. So. All right. Remember to subscribe. So it's February 25th, 2002. I was taking 2 years off after high school for snowboarding. I was going to save money through the winter, work at my local resort, Holiday Valley in Ellicottville, New York. And I was going to then take that money, move up to Hood for the summer, stick around in the Northwest for another year. And then I was going to go to college and probably be a chiropractor. I think that's what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure. My luck, I'd probably just get some bullshit business degree and be a cubicle jockey that hates my life living in the city of Buffalo, and I'd be like 300 pounds. So anyways, it's February 25th, 2002. A week previous, actually, it was 2 weeks previous on a Saturday. There was a border cross race from Buffalo Boards and More and 245 Snowboard Shop. So we always used to race them because they were always fun. You get the gang together, the whole group of Western New Yorkers. We all knew each other. We'd all hang out. We do it. So I think I scrubbed out on my second race, so I didn't make it into the final. So we went to go ride the half pipe over on Foxfire at Holiday Valley, and I hit some oververt and like kicked myself upside down. And I knew I was going to land on my head again, and I didn't want a concussion. So I flipped myself around, and I was twisted sideways. I came down and pinched my spleen and got, I think they call it a pericardial tear or something like that. So your spleen's about the size of your palm of your hand. Anyways, so I made a few more laps. I started having this pain. So I went to ski patrol, and Ken was working. Older gentleman. I think he was like in his late 70s at that point. He was old. He was old school. And he's like, yeah, go take a pee. And if there's blood, we should probably, you should go to the hospital. So I take a piss. There's no blood. So anyways, the next day I'm in a lot of pain, call out of work, still having pain, stuff like this. This goes on for about a week. So I go in to see my doctor. My doctor's poking and prodding, and like the pain was manifesting on the other side. And he's like, well, I think you bruised your diaphragm and did some other stuff. But he's like, we don't have any warrant for an ultrasound. You're not pissing blood. You're fine. When you feel good, go back and snowboard. And I was like, okay. So I went out and rode with the boys. Fine. Went out and rode with the boys again. Fine. So we're 2 weeks in. It's February 25th. It's a weekday. I have to go pick up Marcus from Ask a Black Snowboarder, basically my little brother. I have to go pick him up after school because he's younger than me. He's 4 years younger than me. And I was like, yeah, I'll go pick Marcus up. So I'm making the last run of the day with some friends of mine. And I hit the half pipe, come through. And as I'm coming out, I just scorpioned. And when I hit, I actually ruptured my spleen. And what had happened from that small tear in my spleen was I had gotten a blood clot. And so my spleen, typically the size of your palm of your hand, was the size of a football. And I ripped it end to end. That spewed all that blood and everything. It was rapid blood loss. I blacked out. Came to and was having problems breathing, and I couldn't see out of my right eye, and everything on my right side was basically like stroked out. I was like really weak. I don't know how I got myself up, and I was like, I need to get help. So I tried to ride down to the bottom of Cindy's, and I blacked out and fell and tumbled. I don't know how long I laid there. And then I got up, I made it to the base area, fell over on my face, and passed out again. And I don't know how long I was laying there, but some guy was walking by and he kicked me to make sure I was okay. And I didn't move, and he rolled me over. And I guess I was just ghost white. I'd lost so much blood. So he's like yelling at the lift. He's like, call ski patrol, do this. Well, it's a midweek. It's right before night riding starts. That's when most of the patrol actually works. Daytimes are pretty dead at Holiday Valley. And so they're calling around, and Carl Kohler, the head of ski patrol, a good friend of mine, I know his daughters, stuff like that. He was talking to Dennis Eschbaugh, the CEO of the company. So he's like, calls up and he's like, yo, Avran's hurt. You need to get down here. So Carl comes down and takes one look at me and is like, dude, you're fucked. We're calling the ambulance. I was like, no, get me to my car. I'll be fine. And I'm blacking in and out of consciousness. So they call the ambulance, and the ambulance shows up, and they're pulling my gear off. And I see one of the guys I work with, Dusty or Derek, walking by. I was like, Dusty, grab my shit, throw it in the office, tell Brian to call my mom, do this stuff, I'm trying to get someone to call my mom just to let her know what's going on. And so they're doing this. And at the end of the driveway, there's a giant fucking pothole the size of a Volkswagen Bug. And I remember specifically telling the ambulance guy, don't hit the pothole on your way out. Watch it. What does he do? Straight through the pothole. Pancakes. I black out because I bounced on the gurney. I wake up on the side of 353, the highway, to advanced life support, the fly car, and the guy's putting IVs in me. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Just get me to my car. And he's like, no, man, we got to get you in a helicopter or you're dead. And I'm like, no, I can't afford it. Typical America, right? Can't afford any healthcare here. So anyways, this is going on. I black out again. I wake up on the golf course by the wall, which is the steepest run at Holiday Valley. The ambulance is on the green, and they're pulling me off on the gurney, and they're loading me into Flight for Life. So when they load you in Flight for Life, there's a little door under the tail that they put you in and slide you into the compartment. So you go under the exhaust. You get blasted with that exhaust. So I get blasted with the exhaust, blackout. Wake up in the air and look out, and I was like, clouds look really beautiful. The guy's like, holy shit, he's awake. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, you're being flight for life. I was like, I can't fucking afford this. Blackout again. Land on the roof of ECMC in Buffalo, New York. At this point, they are ripping my clothes off of me on the top. I mean, it looked like a scene from the TV show ER when the helicopter lands. I think I had like 12 people working on me. So they're doing this and they're pulling me through the doors, and the doors are just popping open. It's like those scenes from movies where they put the camera on the gurney and it's just like the door just boom, boom. This is what's going on. So they're getting me into pre-op, and this is going into ECMC is a learning school. So I'm in there, and I got Dr. Seibel, the head of trauma surgery, and he's looking at me and he's like, how the fuck are you still alive? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm fine. I'll be fine in a day or two. This is normal. So they're doing it. He's pushing on me, and I'm like, fuck, this hurts. So then they're like, hey, we are a med school. This is one of our students. He's going to practice on. He's going to do everything I just did. And I was like, why? Why do I need to be traumatized more? So this fucking Eric Estrada Poncherello looking motherfucker, he had hair that looked like Eric Estrada from being Poncherello from Chips. It's like 6'4" Samoan motherfucker with hands like hams. Like when you say ham-fisted, this guy had like a 25-pound fist. He had fingers like foot-long summer sausages. So he's pushing on me. And he pushes right on the side. I pop off the gurney, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I punch him in the side of the head. Patient is combative. Strap me down. At this point, they're slapping IVs in me, and they're like, we got to get a catheter in him. We got to put a nasal gastric tube. So if you never had a catheter shoved up your pee hole, let me tell you about that. It's not fun to be awake when that thing goes in. But you know what's worse than the catheter? The nasal gastric tube. It goes in your nose, down the back of your throat and everything, and into your stomach to suck up any of the nastiness from, because you're internally bleeding back into your stomach and shit. So they're putting that in there. You know what they lube that shit up with? KY jelly. So while they're shoving that up my nose, they're shoving another one up my pee hole, right? And I'm trying to fight them the whole time because I don't know what the fuck's going on at this point. I'm getting delirious. I had 16 units of blood put into me, and I think it was 30 units of saline. So I'm pretty fucked, right? 16 units of blood. That's a lot, right? So they're doing this. Then they need to be like, we got to check for internal bleeding. So that Eric Estrada motherfucker with the goddamn fingers that look like foot-long summer sausage had to stick his finger in my butt to see if I was internally bleeding. They can put KY jelly on the goddamn tube that went up my nose. Was there KY jelly on his finger? Nope, that thing went in raw. Fucking hurt. That hurt. And I'm twitching and shaking, and I just black out again. So I wake up, and the anesthesiologist is there, and she looks down at me, and she's like, Ellicottville. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, do you know my nephew, Trevor Brockman? I was like, he's a good friend of mine. I love Chuck. And she's like, you do know Trevor. You call him Chuck. I was like, I gave him that nickname. She's like, count back from 100. I made it to 97. Out cold. So a normal splenectomy is about a 45-minute surgery. 9.5 hours of trauma surgery. I have a scar that runs from the bottom of my sternum to my waist. It's 9.5 inches long, and I had 49 staples to put it back in. So they cut me open and pulled all my organs out and had to hand clean them. Now, mind you, spleen, size of your palm. Mine was the size of a football when it ripped end to end. All that shit spewed all over me. The doctor, Dr. Seibel, that did the surgery, had a trauma surgery. He had done emergency trauma surgery on a 48-car pileup and told me this. And he goes, I thought that was the worst thing I would ever see in my career. He goes, I don't know how you were walking and trying to fight getting in an ambulance and doing all this shit, because that was the longest surgery I've ever done in my career. And at this point, he was in his late 50s, and he'd been a surgeon for 20-something years. And he was like, the reason we put so many units of blood into you, and I spent 9.5 hours, was I wasn't going to let you die because you were so young, because I was 19 at the time. So anyways, this goes on, right? I wake up, they put me into a medically induced coma and basically told my mom, they were like, if he wakes up in a week, we'll be impressed. I woke up in 2 hours and was like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I tried to walk out of the room I was in, and I was in intensive care. So I was in an ICU unit, and I tried to walk out, and I was still strapped down because I was combative. And I got a neck brace, and they're telling me I broke my back in 4 spots. I don't know where that came from, because I was like, I can wiggle my fingers and toes. What the fuck are you talking about? So anyways, I ended up spending 9 days in the hospital, 8 days in the ICU. I had that nasal gastric tube pumping shit out. I mean, I was filling like a quart jug every hour for 7 days straight. That shit coming out of me. And, you know, mind you, because I fought them while they were putting the catheter in, they put it in a little crooked. I got a urinary tract infection. I understand why women do not like that. That is not good stuff at all. So, no, not fun. Anyways, so 20 years ago on this day, I got a finger in my butt, my last helicopter ride because of snowboarding, and I got a lifelong scar, and I'm missing an organ. But you know what? Flight for Life does save lives. So, you know, you should always support your local Flight for Life. I try to do what I can whenever they do a charity event. So always check out your local resort. Make sure you're supporting those guys. Those people are really, really great. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys on the 20th anniversary of me almost dying. Let's take this super chat from Sam Nagel. Okay. We got, I switched from the Burton Deep Thinker to the Niche Maelstrom based on your recommendations for my daily. I'm so stoked. Just sending support and thank you. Well, thank you for the support. I hope you enjoy the board. All right. Oh, nothing. Ouch. Okay, where were we? Let's see. Okay, we got 4x4 therapy. Can you explain the differences between the dynamo and the E-jack knife, please, Avran? Side cut, flex pattern, and that's really it because they do have the same camber profile on it. The E-jack it's just got a little more setback on it. It rides a little stiffer off the tail than the dynamo. That's really the big difference. The torsional flex, they kind of overlap each other. I think there's a little bit more play in the dynamo, but not by much. On edge, though, you notice the difference. Like the dynamo is just a little more torsionally playful, and so it really changes the dynamic of the carve versus the E-jack knife, but by and large, they really do overlap each other. There's a lot of Mervin boards that overlap each other. I swear to God, they just make them so that they can just put different graphics on them. Smash that like button, people. Okay. All right, we got Lewis Brooks asking, well, my Mercury has finally given up and I'm going to need a new board for next year. What would you suggest I look at that are similar to the Mercury? Well, there's the Mercury. I would also look at the Ride Algorithm, LibTech E-jack knife, LibTech Dynamo. To an extent, the K2 Broadcast. I'm not a big fan of that board personally. The Jones Mountain Twin, although I feel like the Ultra Mountain Twin is probably actually a little bit better, but doesn't really necessarily warrant that price jump unless you don't really give a shit about cost. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Aaron Peterson, are you a Casey Willix fan yet? I've known Casey longer than any of you people. Used to fucking do Thanksgiving dinners with him and shit and hang out with him. I used to film him in the park. I've known Casey for like 10 plus years. We're good friends. I don't understand why people think I don't like him. I don't get it. I was just in one of his vlogs because I was randomly walking down the street and saw him. I was congratulating him on getting his much deserved pro model from Lago, which if you did not buy his limited edition double barrel, you should wait for the next drop if you truthfully support Casey, because that is a really good asymmetrical twin and it is much deserved. And that money goes back to him and it supports the brand that supports him. Casey is a fucking homie through and through. When his car got robbed out in California, who do you think was one of the first people to hit him up and be like, do you need stuff? And he was like, yeah. And I sent him a GoPro 7 because he needed it for filming. I think I had it there in like 2 days. Everyone else was like crowdfunding and Venmoing him money. I just fucking ordered him shit and sent it. Why? Because it's Casey. He's a fucking good dude. He's my bro through and through. Like, I love that guy. We're good friends. I think he does some bonehead shit from time to time. And usually I'll send him a message and be like, yo, dude, you got to knock that shit off. But other than that, he's a great guy. He's an amazingly talented snowboarder and an even better person. I love Casey. He's just like, he's a good friend of mine. Still don't get why people think I don't get along with Casey. Casey's like truthfully the only vlogger in snowboarding that deserves the title of pro snowboarder because he's that good. I'm not counting like Stale or Torstein, and Sebe and all those guys, but I'm talking like in the YouTube sphere of it, like when you put him up against Fuckhouse and TJ and Kevin from Snowboard Pro Camp, they're not on his level, and they'll never be on his level for riding. So yeah, am I a fan yet? I've been a fucking fan of his for years. I used to help him get sponsors. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, people. Okay, Tibby TT, what's your view on Red Bull bringing back the heavy metal contest? Relevant or out of touch with urban riding and all the social media drops? Fuck no, that thing was rad. Did anyone else watch that? That was fucking great. I love that Red Bull dumped money and they were able to do that. Setup was killer. Yeah. All right, you're going to ask this question, you're going in timeout. All right. Jeffrey Murray took a 4-inch course shot on my Mega Merc. Captain saw a picture and suggested an epoxy and PTEX repair. Do you believe the board will still respond proper? Severed Achilles and 3 broken toes. So here's the issue with that, because that has the Moonshot tune on it. Once you get that, you can repair that course shot. Like, I'm looking around, course shot, course shot, course shot. I got numerous boards with them. You can repair it. The problem is making sure that it's a good repair job and finding a competent shop. But afterwards, you're going to need a stone grind in that base and structure put back in. And it's not going to be on the same level as that Moonshot Pro tune. It's just not. That's a specific Capita tune that's on there. You can get a good tune put on, but oh, come here. Come say hi to everyone again. Puppy wants to say hi. He's okay. But yeah, to get that good tune and everything on there, that structure is key. So you do need to get some structure there. Say hi, Uranus. Say hi. You say hi? No? Okay, I'll put you down. Out you go. Out you go. So, yeah. Anyways, there's that. All right. Okay. Well, we've got a message retracted from Junior Lamont with the super chat, so we'll just go with a spin. Why not? Oh, where are we going? Is it bouncing back? Nope. Smash that like button, people. Smash that like button. All right, Luke Dudgeon, spin for the win. Let's see what we can get you. Let's see what we can get you. Ooh. Oh, remember to subscribe, people. Remember to subscribe. All right. Okay. Ice on cow. Wanting to learn jibbing, should I detune my snowboard a bit, or can I overcome edge catching by having my fundamentals down? I don't detune. I never did. I learned how to ride rails with razor sharp edges because I grew up riding straight ice. But it's kind of your personal preference on there. I think if you're a little apprehensive, definitely detune, or at least take it to the tune shop. Tell them to put a 1.5 degree bevel on the base. That'll elevate the edge just enough so when you are flat base, like sliding across something, it shouldn't catch as much. Out. Go lay down. Go. Let's see. Okay. J-Rez. Hello from Eldora. God, I hate skiers. Hashtag fuck skiers. Hashtag cruise the blues. Hashtag get David a rad air tanker. Yes. Our moderator needs to get a 200 plus centimeter snowboard. Why? Because I feel it would humble him. Which he's not here today because he's up in Mammoth. So. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right. Cable stapler. Thanks for the full spleen story. Wax my one board. I don't know if you believe in waxing. I don't. Put a good structure in it and ride it into the ground. And then when it starts to get slow, put more structure back in it. Seriously, I don't wax snowboards. I don't wax any of my boards. There's no point. It comes off within like 2 runs. There's actually a scientific paper from Norway about waxing and how it doesn't work. I actually talked to a biochemical engineer that even said the whole myth that the pores open up on the base and the wax absorbs is a crock of shit. It just doesn't work that way. I was like, biochemical engineer with master's degrees. I was like, I tend to listen to him. You know, seriously, structure. Structure is the most important thing you can put in the base of your board. A good stone grind, putting structure in the board so you can see those grooves will change everything on how a board rides. Like all you guys with LibTechs that bitch and moan that they're slow as fuck, go get it fucking stone grind, which I still don't understand why companies are charging $550+ and don't stone grind their boards. Ride, K2, Capita, fucking amazing. You get such good tune jobs in their boards. Like, you know, this is a Nidecker. It's got a little structure in it, not much. This is the thruster. Should have deeper structure. It's a carving board. It would make more sense. This is an Amplid. This actually has the similar type of structure in there. It should have a deeper structure because it's a POW board because it'll funnel everything. But structure, 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 structure. Can't tell you guys enough about how important that actually is. So. Fire cures all. Michael Kulig, Avran, tips for my bank slalom this weekend. Subculture, ray gun, or slush slasher for the short tail. No, go with the subculture because you're going to get full camber. Then just understand that you got to plow those corners through everything. So you got to be bending. So with that subculture, what you've got to be doing, back knee bent into the center when you go into the turn. You're going to put all that power and pressure at a slight angle down into the insert. So it's going to give you power on the tail. As you come out of it, decompress, but stay on that heel edge and then load from the front foot outside. So you're going to be on the outside of the binding, pushing down into that camber profile. Basically, you just want to be able to keep that power when you hit the flats because you're going to be just going around and whooping that turn. So you want to make sure that you keep that up there. But I would definitely go with the subculture on that one. All right. Ooh, nothing. You get nothing. Okay. This is actually a really funny statement from our boy Vincent Dew. Well, new people, Avran knows the whole industry, and I'm not being sarcastic. It's pretty funny. I got this fucking message today on Instagram from a guy. I'm going to read this because it's funny. Because I don't really give a shit about this guy. Where is it? So there's this kid named Sheldon Dennis. He's a fucking tool. He's just a fucking tool of a snowboarder. Pro snowboarder. I mean, he gave himself a fake Red Bull helmet and tell people he was a Red Bull athlete. And then he told everyone that he left a lucrative Burton contract so he could go ride for blank snowboards because they're paying him $50,000 a year. He's full of shit, right? He's just fucking full of shit. His claim to fame is that Heldor reposted a double cork he did where you couldn't see him land. He basically chucked himself, landed to flat, and exploded. He's a fucking kook, right? And locally, he said a bunch of shit that really rubbed me the wrong way during the pandemic, just shitting on people, right? So anyways, I get this message. There's a photo of an email that someone sent to his brand, or whatever. It's just this is the email the message he wrote me. Just want to end this over just in case you get an email from this guy Joe about my board company. He basically ordered a board on the main page and is mad that there's a 4-inch blank word on the top sheet and said we scammed it and changed the pictures, but didn't. He just didn't select the right board when clicking through the boards. Then just started threatening to go to you guys. Just wanted to reach out and clarify just in case. I love the sport and my company loves the sport and we're all about it. Been in business for like 20 years. Simple misunderstanding with the guy, but basically asking for free stuff now, or he's going to put us on blast and bet. Love the work you guys do, though. Keep it up. Would love to send over some boards for some reviews and such. And if he does reach out and you want the simple explanation of what screenshots he sent saying we changed the pictures and added boards, which we didn't, I can just send it over. Thanks, guys. I'll send the link below just in case. It's all the boards and shows both the boards of the 2 boards he mixed up when buying. All right, he mixed up. Send him the other one. Give him a return shipping label. Make him fucking happy. He hasn't written it. He looked at it and was like, oh, it's the wrong one. It's got the graphic. And like, just frame of reference. It's like, it's only one part of the email that he said. See why I feel scammed. Have the full description screenshot as well. Nowhere does it mention a fat logo in the middle of or white sidewalls. Send me the free return label or I'm sending my story to the angry snowboarder. Bet. Literally, he's telling you, send it back. Like, I mean, and you're probably denying him. So anyway, this was my response to good old Sheldon Dennis. I don't like you. You ran your mouth too much when you lived in Summit County. You're a condescending prick. You also had a fake Red Bull helmet and constantly lied about your skill level. The snowboard industry is real small, and you soured yourself with being a giant tool. Don't come crying to me because your crap-ass brand fucked up or because someone is upset with your customer service. That's on you, and I'm now going to tend to believe them over you because you specifically reached out. I mean that specifically. This kid reached out. Guess you should rethink how you interact with people and what you say do because you never know who is paying attention from afar. There's a reason I've never reached out to your brand, which surprisingly, I don't remember you starting it. That's because I don't feel it's a product worth mentioning. In short, Sheldon, you really should check yourself before you wreck yourself. And then I blocked him. Like, fuck that kid. I don't give a fuck. Fuck him. I never had anything for or against blank snowboards. I think they're just cheap shit that people could put their logo on. I know I've seen stuff from that factory and I've seen what they make. And I'm like, it's a snowboard. It's not mind-blowing. It literally looks like a Never Summer from 2003. You know, it's got that rough quality finish to it. It's nothing special. So anyways, when I say I know a lot of people in the snowboard industry, I literally mean I know like everyone. I pay attention to all that shit. So like I was having a conversation with my friend Crowbar, who's the head coach for the Mount Snow Academy, and one of the kids that goes there that I've known for a couple of years. He's a good kid. I think he's like 15, 16. And he was just talking to me and he's like, hey, I really want to ride for Arbor. And I was like, you know, and he was going through everything. And I was like, do you know who Eddie Wall is? And he was like, no. And I was like, he's the brand manager for him. I was like, you should look up who Eddie Wall is. And I was explaining everything to him. And so, you know, I hope he ends up on Arbor, but he was like, wow, dude, you like understand, like, I shouldn't be just sending them stuff on Instagram. I should be reaching out and trying to interact. And I was like, yeah. And if you're a good person, people recognize this. And so this is one of those things. Like when I say I know a lot of people in snowboarding, I know a fucking lot of people in snowboarding. It's like whenever Jimmy Fuckhouse there, Jonathan Buckhouse, decides to try to talk shit to me. I'm the reason that real brands won't work with him because they'll ask me, they'll be like, should we work with him? And I go, no. And he knows that. And you want to know why I tell him not to? Because he's bad for their brand in the long run. Now, he could change his whole thing. But the fact that I was at a demo this month, at the start of the month, and I ran into my friend AJ Apposito, who works for the North Face, but he's also one of the San Juan guides. And so he does backcountry stuff and he's really knowledgeable. He reached out to Buckhouse when he saw that he got a split board because he was giving people bad information. And he was like, hey, man, if you want to learn how to do things the right way and do all this, AJ was saying this to Buckhouse. And he goes, you want to learn how to do this the right way and give people good advice because you have this audience. He's like, let me know and I'll help you and stuff because you're saying all this. And Buckhouse's response was, well, I know it's wrong, but no one's going to check on it. So who cares? And AJ's like, this is literally the type of people I have to go out and rescue. And this is what I'm talking about. So like when I say I know people, it's like I know people at all sorts of levels. Like one of my favorite marketing people that's a contract marketing person is Tara Yant. That's Nathan Yant's wife. Nathan Yant was the videographer for Forum back in the day. And Tara, like whenever I run into her, I'm like, how are the girls? How's Nathan? How's everything doing? And she always says the same thing because she used to do Forum and Burton's marketing near the end of the Forum days. And everyone at Burton was like, oh, I feel so bad. You got to go deal with Avran and all this. And she's like, he is the nicest person. He always asks about my daughters. He remembers everything. He remembers when I was pregnant. He brought me water when I was pregnant. You know, he knew everything. And it's like one of these things. When I say I know people, I fucking know people. And I have friends and I have acquaintances, but I know who to talk to in every situation and stuff. And I pay attention to what people are saying where and who's working with what brand. Because at the end of the day, the brands don't matter. It's the people behind the brands. And that's where my loyalty is with a lot of people is when they jump ship to a different brand, I'm like, is this working for you? Are you happy? Do you enjoy your job? And that's the thing. And people don't realize that. And I pay attention to a lot of that shit. So, yeah. All right. Okay. All right, let's find some more. Okay. Do. All right, let's see. Chum Diz fuck, your feed is lagging right now. Yeah, it's always lagging. I don't give a fuck. Either deal with it or you don't. Refresh. Spray skiers. Okay, Luke Dudgeon. Heavy Jones tweaker on pre-order as a beginner park board. Is it going to kill me and make me hate life? I don't think so. I need to ride it, but everyone I've talked to actually says it's super fun and forgiving and predictable. So I think you'll be fine with that. But yeah, I should hopefully be picking one up this next week. I gotta email PD my rep and see what I can do. Remember, smash that like button. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Anyways, I've been here an hour and a half. I'm kind of over it. I got shit I want to do. So you guys got the story. You got a Slim Whitman call. You got updates. I'm going to try to finish the top 5 that I've got. It's for ladies. It's top 5 women's all mountain free ride for this week. So I'm going to try to do that. Thanks to everyone that supports. I know the feed's lagging. I don't know what's going on with that because I just reset everything right before. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah. So we're going to call it a day. I'm done. I got to go take the dog out for a quick walk and then hit up some friends for happy hour and whatnot and go enjoy the rest of my weekend. Hopefully you guys are getting powder wherever you are. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. The link's in the description. Check it out. Watch the video over there. It'll explain it a little bit better. And if it's your thing, sign up, join it. And I'll see you guys in another video.